Welcome to the brand new Draymond Green Show YouTube channel. Hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our content. Dan Hurley is reportedly making a decision on the Lakers job on Monday. And reportedly, he's extremely impressed with the Lakers pitch, but also loves what he has built at UCONN. Now, as a player that actually played for a coach very similar to Dan Hurley, which is like super intense, by the way. Like, Iz would tell us, like, you suck at basketball. Like, Draymond, you stink. You suck. Your mother could play better than you. Like, Iz would say those types of things to us. And when I got to the NBA a couple times, Iz looked at there was a couple times that he looked at NBA jobs. And I remember specifically he was looking at the Cavs job. And that was when I was in college. And he didn't know whether LeBron was coming back or not, and he stayed. But then he was looking at the Cavs job again when Beeline took it.
Right.
And I told I said, something as simple as the way guys dress in the NBA would bother you. And you can't tell the guy that's making $30 million he sucked. Like, it's just going to be hard for you to do that. I'd much rather you stay at Michigan State. Now, selfishly, I wanted him to stay at Michigan State. But also, me having his best interest, just like he's always had my best interest to this day, no matter what happens. If anything goes right or wrong, I know I can turn to him.
Right.
Dan Hurley has that same style. I watch him with his players, and it's crazy. Do you think that his intense style could translate to an NBA coach?
He would have to adjust. Like, you just can't be that intense all the time in the NBA locker room. So I would say no. But, he's a great coach, so I know he can adjust. But it's definitely going to be an adjustment. You can't come in for 82 games and be that intense because you're going to lose. I wouldn't say you will lose the locker room, but at some point they're going to tune you out. If you're just always yelling, if you're always in people's face, if you're overcoaching, sometimes guys just like to we got to figure out as a unit sometimes. Or sometimes it need to be collaborative. Like our film sessions, you might take over one day, or Chris Paul might take over, or Steph going to have something to say that day. So you can't just be a dictator in the locker room, or I would not to call him one, but that intensity, I think that would make our team so special, or our locker room is just the joy and the knowing how to balance it out. So off the top of my head, I would say no, just because it's a lot of different personalities in the NBA locker room. In college, you gotta kind of fall into place. In the NBA, you don't have to. You want guys to buy in, but no. At the end of the day, we all grown men, so people don't like getting shown up in front of people in the game. So it's a fine line between the tense and getting embarrassed. So it's like, all right, you got to figure that how to walk that. So
I agree. I think it's. Go ahead.
How would you feel about playing for Izzo as how you are now? Like,
I love Izzo to death. If Izzo said, if Iz said some of the things to me today that he said to me when I was 20, it wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. But it would not work. And I'm so happy Iz stayed at Michigan State because, I would hate for somebody to try to take a hit at his legacy because it didn't work. Like, it's hard to coach in the NBA, man. Like, by the way, Darvin Ham had two successful seasons and got fired. Like, it is very hard to coach in the NBA. So I would hate to see his legacy get impacted like that. But also, there's just some things you can't say to me at 34 that you would have said to me at 19. And so he'd have to adjust. And by the way, Billy Donovan was much like Iz, right? Like, they were much like the same person. And, he's made it work. I wouldn't necessarily say he's had the best coaching career in the NBA, but he's been a good NBA coach. And so
Still coaching, so you're doing good
Yeah,
enough.
like right, like so, it could help, and I understand that, but I agree. That particular style, if he gonna take that style,
Right.
you're not gonna go in there and tell LeBron James, it ain't working. So
Right.
that's my take on that. But I do got one more question for you. And by the way, before I ask the question, there's also a thing where college coaches are like, you go on the campus, Izzo the man.
Right.
You go on UConn campus, I don't even, what's his name? Stefan Castle. And what was the big kid name? Clinigan. Like Donovan Clinigan or something. Clinigan. Yeah. Something like Clinigan. No disrespect to him. But like, they not the man on campus. Dan Hurley's the man on campus.
Right.
In the NBA, Dan Hurley, you only get blamed.
Right.
You don't get credit.
Right.
And so I think that's a totally different thing for coaches to have to accept as well. And like, how does his ego take that? Like, if you get the Lakers job, brother, you like 7th on the totem pole of the most important people who went to the Lakers. You're not number one. And so that's a different thing. In saying that, do you think the Lakers hiring Dan Hurley makes them a championship contender next year?
I'm gonna ask you a question. Were they a championship contender this year?
They were not.
Then I think just changing the coach, then no. If all they do is change the coach, I don't think that just puts them into contention. They're gonna have to. I don't know what they need to add, but they have to add something to figure it out. I don't think Darvin Ham was the only problem for why they didn't win the championship.
Facts.
So I couldn't just say, "Oh, we changed the coach, now we're a champion." I don't think it worked like that.
That's a fact.
So I would say no.
We're this close to crowning an NBA champion. I like the Celtics, by the way, in 6. Jaylen Brown's going to be my MVP, and I love the Celtics in Game 1. But sign up, 90 seconds. Put in the code Collins, COLIN. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. If you're a new customer, bet $5. That's it. Just bet $5, and you'll get $150 instantly in bonus bets. The code Collins, COLIN, shows them that you're a new customer to get $150 in bonus bets only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. I'm leaning Celtics in 6, baby.